Welcome to the Secret of Oneness. The teaching that we're going to talk about this evening is called Manifesting Power, How All Things Begin Through You. So as always, I like to start off with a little quote from Neville Goddard. In the beginning was the unconditioned awareness of being, and the unconditioned awareness of being became conditioned by imagining itself to be something. And the unconditioned awareness of being became that which it had imagined itself to be. So did creation begin. That's Neville Goddard. So I had a recent request from someone to talk about John 1:1. And so this is going to cover John 1, verses 1 through 3. And I may end up doing a part 2 because I want to cover verses 4 and 5 as well, because it's kind of important to kind of link these all together. But this is going to show you your manifesting power and how everything comes from you. Now, in Scripture, they talk about things come from God and it's Christ and all this stuff. And so people believe that there's a God outside of themselves, and God outside of them is who they pray to, and that's how things get brought into your experiences. But we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about the scriptures. We're going to read them here, John chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him. And apart from him, not even one thing came into being that has come into being. Now that sounds a lot of like God and the Word was together in the beginning, and nothing came without God and the Word, and people refer to the Word as Jesus. And I'm going to show you that's not exactly what it means here. So let's get into this. Beginning. The word beginning in Greek is number 746, and it means magistrate, power, principality, principle, or rule. And I found it interesting when I looked this up that the beginning can mean power. So let's take it from there. So being or begin is power, right? But let me kind of touch on the original Greek word as well. It's called archomai, and it means properly abstract, a commencement or concretely chief in various applications of order, time, place, or rank. Beginning, corner, or at the first, estate or magistrate, power, principality, principle, or rule. So the actual Greek definition of this root word is I begin. So think about that. In the beginning, we always think about it being like the very beginning of something. But in the original Greek word, the archomai, it means begin or I begin, right? So I, when you say I am is the power, right? So I begin. So let's remember this. So now the word in Greek is 3056, and it's the word logos. If you have a background in Christianity, you know that there's a rhema word and a logos word. And the word logos means speaking to a conclusion. It means being the expression of a thought, a saying. The word logos is preeminently used of Christ in John 1:1, which is what we're talking about, expressing the thoughts of the Father through the Spirit. Christ, this is mine. Christ is not Jesus. Jesus was Christ manifest. And Christ is the wisdom and power of God, which is 1 Corinthians 1:24. So now what I want to show you is the word means a thought of the Father through the Spirit. It's expressing the thought. Okay, in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning, where I began with power, was the Word, and the Word was an expression of the thought of the Father. It's not a word written on paper. It's an expression of a thought from the Father. And the Father, as Neville taught, is your own wonderful human imagination. So this is going to be extremely powerful. When you understand this, it's really going to take the lid off of things, because you're really going to understand who you are. And you're going to understand like how all things come from you. Right? A lot of people are trying to manifest things. They imagine, like when Neville did the ladder technique, people are imagining the ladder and climbing the ladder. until you understand the power that's within you, it's very difficult to actually manifest things because you're trying to do all these techniques from the human character or the human self. This scripture, in the beginning was the Word was God, the Word was with God, all that stuff. It's not talking about Jesus being with God and them having a powwow and talking about things and them sitting up there creating something. This is talking about you, that you are the power and everything comes from you. And I'm going to show you that. So the word God. Now, most Christians and most people believe that there's a God outside of them. It's some person on a throne, right, judging you. But the word God in the original Greek, which is 23:16, which is theos, and it's of unknown origin. But God is the creator and owner of all things. Now, it says here, long before the New Testament was even written, theos referred to the supreme being who owns and sustains all things. So it doesn't say there's a God on a throne. It's a man who's judging you with a beard and a crown on his head, and he's in heaven. It doesn't say that. Long before the New Testament was even written, the Creator was referred to the supreme being of who owns and sustains all things, right? So what actually sustains all things? What is everything made out of? It's made out of energy, right? So they were referring to God, or they were referring to the energy as God, right? So here I'm going to break it down. God referred to the supreme being who owns and sustains all things. I have here that supreme equals superior, and being equals existence, own equals possession, sustains equals supports, and all things are the whole. So think about it that way. It was referring to a superior existence who had possession and supported the whole of everything. It's a whole different perspective when you understand it from that. It's not God, a guy in the sky, where it's showing a supreme being, where it means superior existence, right? So here's the second verse of John 1:2. He was in the beginning with God. Now, this is very interesting because a lot of people, when they read this, they'll say he was in the beginning. Oh, that must be Jesus. Jesus was there. Jesus was with God in the beginning because they're the Trinity. Jesus, God, and the Spirit. Here's what's interesting. The word he in the original Greek is number 3778, and it's the word hotus. And I'm going to get into the root word of that as well, because the root word is the word autus, but the word he is the word hatus with an H. It means this very one. It means the same logos, the divine word. It means not a different or lesser being, but the same divine presence with God from the beginning. So when it's saying he was with God, it's referring to the word. It's referring to the logos. It's referring to the divine presence that was with God from the beginning. It's not a he. When you say, he borrowed my pencil, or he taught me a lesson, or he showed me his new car, you're typically referring to a person, he. But in the Bible, when it says he, it's not talking about a person. It's talking about the very same thing that you're referring to. Okay? So when it says he was in the beginning with God, it's talking about the Word. And the Word was the being of expression of a thought or a saying, expressing the thoughts of the Father through the Spirit. So he is referring to the thoughts of the Father within your imagination. Hopefully you get that. It's not a person. It's referring right back to your imagination. Your imagination was in the beginning with God. Wow. Okay. Now, the word him. Now, this goes into the third verse here. So the third verse is all things came into being through him. Okay. So in the word In the word Greek, the word him in Greek is 846. It's autos. It means self. So again, when I was just talking about here about the word he, it's the word hatus, and which is the Greek word, and it's the root word autos. And autos is the word him. And the word origin is a primary pronoun, the reflective pronoun self used of the third person and with the proper personal pronoun of the other persons. So let me break this down a little bit more. What they're saying is in the original Greek, the word translates as himself. It's a primary reflective pronoun used to emphasize the subject, indicating that the action was performed by the person upon himself rather than someone else. Okay, so I asked AI to give me like a spiritual context of that specific thing, and this is what it gave me. In Scripture, the reflective pronoun, a primary pronoun used of the self, reveals a profound truth that God manifests himself through himself, emphasizing that the divine action originates within and returns to the self, untouched by external influences. So this is what it's talking about when it's talking about him within himself, okay? God does not manifest things outside of you. Do you get that? There's no God outside of you. There's nothing happening outside of you. It's what it's saying here is that God manifests himself through himself, emphasizing that the divine action originates within you. That's why people talk about everything is within you. There's nothing outside of you. And returns to the self untouched by external influence. Okay, so let's move on to the verse 3. So I think you got it now, okay? Okay, all things came into being through him, and apart from him, not even one thing came into being that has not come into being. Now, again, a lot of people believe that Jesus, they're talking about Jesus here, that all things came through Christ, through Jesus. Okay, but all things, the word all things here means each, every, or parts of a totality. Okay, it means all things. So when people say I am all things, what it's referring to, this is very interesting here. All in the sense of each and every part that applies. The emphasis of the total picture then is on one piece at a time. Then focuses on the parts making up the whole, viewing the whole in terms of the individual parts. So when people say I am all things, what they're saying is I'm an individual part of the whole. So if you're an engineer or a doctor or you want to be a millionaire, those are all individual parts of the whole. That's why you can be anything that you want. You can choose anything that you want because everything is within you. Every single piece is within you, whatever you choose to be. If you want to be broke and homeless, you can be that because that's part of the whole. So all things came into being through him. And again, him is that reflective pronoun that means self, that manifests within yourself. Wow. The word through, it means properly across to the other side. So back and forth or to go all the way, successfully across or across to the other side, thoroughly. So when it says that all things came into being through him, it means everything crossed completely all the way. It was successful. Come into being in the Greek is 1096, and it's genomai. It means properly to emerge, become, transitioning from one point, realm, or condition to another. So for something to come into being, it's transitioning from one realm to another. You could say that it's transitioning from the 5D to the 3D. Because that would be a transition from one point or one condition or one realm. Okay? A condition would be you've gone from homeless to a millionaire. You can transition from that. That's a condition that can come into being, right? So fundamentally means become or to become and signifies a change of condition, state, or place. So how many times have you been told that you can manifest or manifest into a new state, right? Or shift states? This is what it's talking about. It comes into being. It means to come into being or manifestation, implying motion, movement, or growth. Thus, it is used for God's actions as emerging from eternity and becoming or showing themselves in time or physical space. So I hope you got all that. That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of definitions and a lot of information. All my stuff, again, is in my description. So if you want to go back and watch this again and read it, please share it to other people so they can check this out. If it helps them understand who they are, because remember, identity is what manifests who you are being. And this right here is telling you who you're being, okay? And all things come through you. All the power is within you and everything manifests through you. So I broke this entire section, this whole thing down into a couple sentences to kind of explain it. And the way that I have it, now let me go back to the original scripture here. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, not one thing came into being that has come into being. So taking all this context that I have here, God, the supreme, superior existence, possession, supports the whole. The word he is the very one, the same as the logos, remember. Remember, him is the primary reflective pronoun self. And it means that God manifests himself through himself, emphasizing that the divine action originates within. Everything comes from within and returns to the self, which is you. God and you are one. You are the self. Your self is the one that's one with God. 1 Corinthians chapter 6:17. Now here's what I wrote. Power commenced as expressed divine thought of the superior existence or imagination. The same divine presence manifests self as the whole or the whole state of being, individualized successfully across realms and through motion and movement becomes a change of state or a manifestation in time and physical space. Let me read that one more time. Power commenced as expressed divine thoughts of superior existence, imagination. The same divine presence manifests self as the whole state of being, individualized successfully across realms and through motion and movement becomes a change of state or a manifestation in time and physical space. Now, what I did is I took AI and I asked it to summarize that into one sentence to kind of make it a little bit more clear. Because I know what I just wrote seems a lot of words and a lot of confusion. But if you go back again into the description and read it, it'll make a little bit more sense as you see the whole context here. So AI said, divine power as the expressed thought of supreme imagination manifests itself as the whole and through movement across realms becomes individualized as form and experience within time and space. So the divine power that is within you comes from the supreme imagination, which is God. Remember, it said God is referred to the supreme being who owns and sustains all things. So the supreme being, right? The supreme imagination that sustains all things. It will manifest itself as the whole. So your state of being manifests as the whole. Through movement across realms, it becomes individualized as form and experience within time and space. So what it's saying here is the divine power that's expressed through your imagination manifests as a whole. The state of being manifests as a whole. And it goes across through movement and across realms. It becomes an individual experience that you experience within time and space in the 3D.